as you know, all of these sessions will be available on YouTube immediately as the sessions end. So at this moment, for example, you can go to our YouTube channel, that's Jamaica Teaching Council, and you would be able to access the 2 sessions that we've already had today and tons of other sessions that we have had in the past. It really is a treasure trove of resources that you can use as you. There you go. Our YouTube link is now up and running. It's a treasure trove of resources that you can draw on as you prepare to teach and to plan and deliver instruction. Right. So one last thing before I jump into the presentation, though. We really do not want you to have any embarrassing moments. We do not want you to have any challenge with respect to how you present yourself on screen this afternoon. So typically we certainly have disabled the mic and we are not allowing you to start video. That is fine. If it becomes necessary, then we certainly will allow that towards the, when that becomes necessary. We also want you to bear in mind that if you stick around to the end, we will share a link with you that allows you to complete a very brief form that you can use. I mean, once you complete that form, you will be able to get a certificate to show that you have actually attended this session. So we do invite you to stick and stay with us so that you can benefit from the certification towards the end of this session. Meaning you will get the form towards the end. The form remains open until midnight tonight, and you will be able to complete it up to that point. We will close at midnight tonight. So, right. Okay, so let's get the show on the road then. This afternoon, as I said before, we are going to be hearing from 4 teachers. The first presentation will be led by Miss Gina Mullings and Mrs. Gina Mullings and Mrs. Rosemary Daly Richards. I am going to share their introduction to you with which they did in the form of a video. And I'm always just so impressed when teachers go that extra mile. And so I'm just loading the video that will allow you to meet Miss Gina Mullings and Mrs. Rosemary Daly Richards. Gina will tell you that this tech thing is not her. She really just started this tech journey recently when COVID came upon her unannounced and sudden. But she has been doing so well, and she has carried along with her PD partner, as she calls her, Mrs. Daly Richards. So let me just share that screen with you so you can meet these 2 ladies. Immediately after the presentation, you'll be hearing from Mrs. Gina Mullings and Mrs. Rosemary Daly Richards, who will be talking to us about an epic love triangle. It is the COVID edition, they say, of that epic love triangle. So without any further ado, let me just share that video. Okay, I think I'm sharing, and you should be hearing now. Success don't come overnight. No matter no substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the life.
Hey everyone, Gina here with my friend Rosemary. We are both teachers of human ecology at the St. Catherine High School. We are teachers with posts of responsibility, but at our core we are just very hard-working classroom teachers. We are mothers, wives, community volunteers, professional development critical friends on and off the job. Our common goal is really just to upskill and to build colleague capacity and ultimately to impact the lives of our students. So come with us now on this journey as we share with each other's experience and see how we can benefit from each other.
Thank you very much, Gina and Rosemary. I just need to make sure that I know they're here. Gina, Rosemary, I'm throwing it over to you now. You're up.
Present, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Rosie,
Greetings,
all right?
greetings.
I'm good.
All right.
Great.
Let me share my screen. And we are going to be taking a journey into the love triangle, the COVID-19 edition. And it's loading. Just a disclaimer here while we wait for it to load. Please bear in mind that these are strategies that work for us, and we are certain that if you try them, they will work for you too. But you know how it goes. Different strokes for different folks, different cultures. So here we are, the epic love triangle. Riddle me this, riddle me that.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Guess me this riddle, or perhaps not. No table. So what presentation surface is this? Is A, a desktop or a barrel top? Is B, a desktop or a barrel top? I want you to go ahead and put it in the chat, whether you think A is a desktop or B is a barrel top. And if you know, these are our students' work. So go ahead and type it in the chat. Is A dresser top, or B a dresser top, or is A barrel top? And we do like Jeopardy. Jeopardy would say ta na 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 na. And if you said that A is a barrel top, then you are correct. And if you said B is a dresser top, then you are correct. Give yourself a little pat on the shoulder. C and D. Is C a countertop or a bed? Is D a countertop or a bed? Let's go. C, countertop or bed? D, countertop or bed? Ta na 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 na. And if you said C is a bed, you are correct. And if you said D is the countertop, yes, you are correct. Very good. Pat yourselves again. No table again? No worries, man. E or F? Is E a washing machine top or F a desktop? E, washing machine top, or is it a desktop? F, washing machine top or desktop? Let's go. And I see Miss Jacqueline says, and Miss Kathy says desktop, but which one? Sophia is saying desktop, but which one? That's to be specific, E. And if you said E is the desktop, you are correct. And F is definitely our washing machine. And remember, these are our student presentation of the work that we are showing you. And if you got all right, at the end, Mr. Leslie will present you with your gift. Okay, take it away, Mrs. Mullins.
And what this tells us, though, you know, colleagues, is that we have to be flexible in the COVID pandemic. And so if the children don't have what we normally would have at school, then as teachers, you have to flex, right? You're not going to compromise standards, but flexibility and inclusion is absolutely key. So when did this love affair all begin? The love affair began many, many years ago when we started teaching, and we had parents, teachers, and students, and hence the triangle. But the COVID edition came about when it struck Jamaica March 2020. How many of us remembered when that news announcement or our broadcast was made? And the children started to cheer and we started to fret and we started to pack our things. And in my mind, I said, in the next 2 weeks, we'll be back at work. Here we are almost 2 years in and we are still virtual, almost fully. The school gates closed and we had to call Father and say, pray, Father, I rough. And we have been praying ever since. No necessity has become the mother of invention. And we now have to get on our stilts if we are wanting to catch the giraffe or to slay the dragon. And so we decided that we have to go court the parents again. How many of us love songs? I love them. I'm a Christian, but I love some love songs. And my favorite love song is Cuba Bryce, If Ever You're in My Arms Again. And when it started to play, I just rock so. And it's the same thing. When we went away from school, the children were away from us, the parents were away from us, but virtually we had to reconnect. And so we had to be wooing and courting the parents again, you know, if the relationship worked, you have to put out the effort. And so, you know, maybe a little casual talk after school in the Google Meet, which is what we use at St. Catherine High. We have our own space on the Google domain, and we use Classroom and Meet for our synchronous sessions. Some parents will like that, you know, a little charm works. You put on the honey and it draws them. But some parents are not having that. They want more structured Q&As. And so you put on your little jacket and fix up your hair, and you have a meeting with the parents. For many parents, you have to call and reason and beg, and you know how it goes at teachers. Sometimes, you know what, the little call just don't work, and you have to really get in there and call some of them individually and rope them in. And then, of course, I know for some schools, a WhatsApp group is an absolute no-no. But again, culture of your school. Know your school, know your parents, know your administration, know your culture, and work with it. Stay within the parameters. And Mrs. Richards and I are buddies in the WhatsApp group. And so we rope the parents in, and this is one way to keep the communication flowing almost instantly and economically too. You know, WhatsApp is very economical on data and Wi-Fi. So let's take a look now at some of the strategies that we use to woo our parents and keep them coming back for more.
So our parents were willing, they were coached to assume some of the direct roles. And I remember when COVID started, I saw a meme on social media where the teacher was saying to the parents, tag, you are it. So of course, we tagged our parents and we said, you are it. So our parents became our fire safety monitors. What do we mean by that? Our parents were the ones who were helping to light the stoves, light the ovens, get the students busy. And if they were not at home, they would have been giving lessons to the students as how to light the stove and all of that. They became our sensory testers, and they were big at giving feedbacks. When this started, the parents were a little bit shy and never wanted to come and give their opinions. But guess what, colleagues? We don't allow them to give their opinions all wide scale, because they will tell you just about every and anything. So we point the questions we want to ask them. And by now, all our parents are ready. If not parents, big brothers and other guardians are ready to come on camera and ready to say, Miss, it is nice. And they come and they tell us. Our parents have become photographers and videographers. So while our students are working, our parents are on the sideline. They are taking photographs, they are taking pictures for the pieces, they are taking the children in action. And so the parents are now owning these skills. Our parents have become gophers. So if our students want something while they are working and we look at them, we say, what is it? And they say, Miss, we don't see so and so. We say, Mommy, who is there with you? And we call and we open the mic and we talk with the person and we say, do you have this at home or that at home? I have a story to share. So there was a student in my class, and we were making muffins, and our bananas went AY and went missing. And Mommy said, Miss, Grandpa, eat the bananas. I said, okay, Mommy, what do you have? And she said, Miss, I said, don't bother quarrel with grandfather. Come now, what do you have? I said, do you have any oats? And she said, yes, Miss. I said, you have any Lasco? She said, yes, Miss. I go. And I told her the quantities, and she was able to go and get them, while the child was able to remain a little calm and get the job done. So our parents are our gophers. Our parents are there to stress quality for us and not quantity. And we know that our Jamaican students, when it comes to quantity, they love the big and the enough. So our parents are there to help us ensuring that we get quality. We don't get 6 chicken legs and 5 of this and that, just enough so that the practical is successful and in the end is good. Our parents are very thrifty with shopping. So our parents help them with the shopping, help them with the comparative shopping. And our parents are also there to make the nutritive switches for us. So switching out our meat and putting in our peas and beans, and the parents are there to help us. So trust me, tag you are it, it's really working in our epic love triangle.
There you go. And so we also have learned to be flexible as teachers, even more than we were normally. And so we flexi scheduled our practicals. And that came about when children were not turning up for practicals because no parent was at home to help to supervise or to help them. And so what we did was to meet and decide, all right, let's do it when the parents are at home. And so some practicals are scheduled for evening hours. Some are scheduled on a Saturday. I'm a Sabbath keeper. Rosie goes to church on a Sunday, and so we flex as well. Now you're saying, oh my God, when do they have time for family? When do they sleep and do other things? Flexible doesn't mean infinitely elastic. And so as teachers, you have to learn to control the stretch. And so what we do is to allow them, especially on a weekend when you're doing practicals like meat and fish and those kind of high quality practicals, because very often they don't have the money for two things. And you know it goes in Jamaica. If you don't have the money, you find the big money on a Sunday to cook, sometimes 2, 3 meat. And so when they do the practicals like that, they are able to prepare the meals, feed the family, bond as a unit, but get the work done. And that's important. Having to do an egg practical, no worries, do it breakfast time. And when you do it breakfast time, you feed the family, maintain the bonds, get the work done. We also together came up with what we call an e-guidebook. And this book was done in collaboration, myself, Rosemary, our friend Rosemary D'Souza from Charlemont IHOD, giving her a shout out, and our other colleague at St. Catherine I, Mr. Christoph St. John from the English department, excellent young man, trained as well. And so what we do is to make this guideline book available for parents so that they can follow as they go along. Currently, the book is being modified, and so we have pulled it off the site just until it is ready. And you know, you have to work, just as Jody said, you reflect on practice and you improve as you go along. And so the book is up for modification. We believe in inclusion, and a part of being inclusive is listening actively and attentively. And so we listen to our parents, we listen to the children, but we have to listen to ourselves too. Self-care is very important in all of this. And so we have adopted what I call the okay. I hear you, mommy and daddy. I truly understand big brother and big sister, but stop complaining. What's the solution that we can arrive at? And that's our mantra and model going forward. So complain all you want, but at the end of the complaining, solution is what we say. Now, human ecology, home economics. Home economics is the most vibrant subject alive in the world. I've never regretted a day doing it. It is life in action. It's goal setting and realizing goals. It's translating real life skills into real life application. And it's all about problem solving and critical thinking. And in this epic love triangle, myself and Rosie, our colleagues at work who we collaborate with, because we don't operate in isolation, we are always collaborating together and with other people. And so we learn to critical think, we learn to solve, and we learn to come up with innovations that can benefit us as a school and as teachers. Ultimately, the children benefit and the society at large. So let's take a look now at clothing and textiles, the often forgotten child in home economics. Everybody flood foods, you know, it goes already the lure of the appetite. But clothing is an excellent avenue by which to develop skills and to solve problems. Here you see on my slide a student working on her cushion. During COVID time, it was time to innovate, to repair, to renovate, and to restore. And we can see here in this video that has no real sound, but just a child learning to hone and to develop her skill in vlogging. And what she did was to practice her stitching on her own. She made her videos, posted them in the classroom, and peer-on-peer learning took place. And can I tell you that those students learned better from that child, than they learned from me. I take a look now at students actually stitching, doing samples, mounting it in their physical book. Because yes, you know, we are in the COVID era, you have to have children with physical books because not every child is available online. That's the reality of Jamaica Land we love and many, many schools. And so we have what is known as a drop-off and pick-up system at my school with many, many of our colleagues. So we leave the boxes at the guardhouse and we tag the boxes. Children do the work, they take the books in and they leave them by the boxes. We go in, we pick them up, we mark, and we put them back on parents. And this is how it has been going since. And here we have children working on their seams and their stitches. Normally we would fuss about colors because, you know, you want uniformity and consistency, but in COVID, color doesn't matter. Any color goes as long as the technique is perfect. And this is why practice refines technique. Here we have a child improvising. We were beside ourselves when the child submitted his or her seams and stitches done on book leaf. And Daily Richards was shocked and called the child and said, "What is this?" The child had no fabric. The child really wanted a mark. And out of all that we have been doing from grade 7, plus coming from primary school, and so we are teachers, we build on each other's competencies. The child problem solved and realized that book leaf can produce the same thing, technique and not material. And so that child was able to complete effectively and got the work done. Here we have samples of children's work from grade 9, clothing, fashion, and textiles. And again, it was all about repurposing, improvising, renovating. It wasn't even on the syllabus for grade 9. My HOD, Miss Rose Morris, came up with the idea of infusing it when we got to a point where we were saying, what do we do next? You know, we could not have done pattern drafting with these children virtually, not yet. We have not come up with that one yet, but we're gonna get there. And so she thought of this idea and said, yes, repurposing, renovating, repairing, and we worked it out. And children were allowed to choose certain items. Many of them gravitated towards bed cushion for comfort. And so they use old t-shirts, things that we would call older, or things that they would park, as they call it. And here they are, bed cushions, bags for keeping their little personal effects. A student doing her embroidery without embroidery thread. And when she did it and sent it to me, I said, "You got thread?" She said, "No, miss, normal thread, doubled, tripled, quadrupled. Embroidery, here we come." And that's the work. Now you might be looking on this little note and be thinking to yourself, then, Tan, 10:14 at night, they're texting Miss allowing that. Miss doesn't have a life. No, you would have spoken to them about not going beyond 5:30 or 6. But they're excited, and you know, they sent a little message, but you don't read it till in the morning. She spent the whole day working on her pillow, and she just wanted for me to see that, "Miss, look, I've tie-dyed one. I did another one, and I've put my name on it." And so I reminded her of the timeline, but I also congratulated her because this was an awesome thing for a child.
Okay. Family and resource management, formerly called home economics management, so we can't leave it out of the pack. So here on screen, you see a presentation of a snack plate. So we know that family resource management has a lot of theory to it, but we can't just have the class going with theory. So I have not been teaching it for a while, started teaching it again since September. So when I looked at the topic as the management process, I said, guess what? Let me get creative. I know that at home, students have smaller siblings, and we know that persons at home are, as parents, we find it hard to come up with snacks for the students. I gave them a question. I said, your sibling or your cousin or nephew is staying with you for the day. I want you to plan a snack plate using the management processes and show us. And everybody did that, came in class with their plates live, and they presented. And you can go to the other slide, Mrs. Mullins. And there are pictures of it. And can I tell you, these are work mainly from boys. So when we did our snack plates, and I said to them, let's talk about our snack plate. Now we're evaluating. I said to one boy, so where, if you look at the one on the peach, I said, so where is the snacks? Him say, "Miss, me, I tell you the God truth. My little nephew, I cook food him love. Him on a snack. And he wants his sandwich and his macaroni and cheese. And if you look, and while we talked, we said to one boy, so what the amount of sweetie? He said, "Miss, online school, I didn't know you have to give them something make them feel good. So give them 2 sweetie, man." And we evaluated. We talk about the missing foods that were not there. And we talk about what we could use to replace the stuff. And so I get my boys going. And I get everybody. Guess what, colleagues? We might not have everybody on board, but get 1 or 2 students to share. And you'd be surprised by the time you have the next class, the others will jump along. So I moved on to another topic after that, goal setting. And we know that goal setting talks about short-term goals, intermediate goals, long-term goals. And while I was there, I said, no, man, I have to come up with something. So I came up with a vision board. And I came to class now with my nice idea. I said, we're going to make a vision board and we're going to use Canva. Anybody knows Canva? The kids started to laugh. Them said, Mr. Late. Everybody knows Canva. And so they went on Canva, they did up their boards, they went on Google Slides, they did their boards, and they came to class. So I have my boy, I have a footballer here, and he's my professional footballer. So he says, Miss, I'm not putting any more pictures, just pure footballs. I said, all right, guy, all right, my youth, do your thing. So some of the other students, I couldn't carry everybody's work here today, but the other students put in a graphic way what they want to achieve the next 10 years. And that was their goal setting. One girl said to me, when I looked at her vision board, I said, I really don't understand. She said, Miss, in her vision board, I saw the foot of a person lying down on a deathbed. So I said, are you going to be a mortician? She said, no, Miss, never dead. I said, no, man, we have to talk. So from these colleagues, we can see different things coming out from the next 10 years, what they are going to be. And they were very good. It's a pity I couldn't bring all the boards here today.
And we move on to the food, nutrition, and health aspect. And here we have students doing practicals online, sandwiches, fruit bowls, fruit kebabs, the grade 11 candidates doing their meal and meat practicals at home, presenting in situations that are maybe not so ideal, but these children have learned through adversity to improvise. And by coaching the parents and coaching the children, they have learned to problem solve. When I saw candidate A dressed up in her mask, and I said to her, why are you wearing a mask if you're at home? She says, Miss, I'm not at home. My gas finished. She packed up her things and run up the road to Auntie house. And there she is in Auntie's house, getting the practical done. They are young, but they will learn. So ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley wide enough to keep me from you. We had children who went overseas to visit relatives and they were stranded there when the restrictions came in and the borders were closed. So my candidate in the UK, but we were able to collaborate, we were able to communicate, and here she is doing her practical. Now flexibility again comes in, typically they do it in a uniform, but we try to be as reasonable as possible. She really didn't have the uniform, and so we insisted on modesty. And so it goes. Regardless of where they are, the work must be done, and it must be done efficiently. Now look at us here. You might be saying, "Not tell me say a COVID thing then come about now," but it's important. Taking the job is a personal choice, and Rosie and I decided we laugh at it because we both signed up at a different time, signed up for a different location, and she ended up at my location when they closed her gate. So we saw the opportunity and we used it, and we snapped the pictures to encourage our colleagues to take the job and to prep self. We were at school almost every day from February last year, working with children who came in small doses. See them here? Small doses. Inclusion again is important. What do you say to a child who has no connectivity? What do you say to a child who has a data plan that keeps spinning and nothing happens? And so with permission from parents, permission from administration that they would have sought from the ministry, children came in very, very small control numbers, sometimes 2, sometimes 1. We have here this little young man, I'm going to call him Little Timmy. Little Timmy is one of the young men that is a part of our scaffolding group. We call it the critical friends. I know Mrs. Wilmot is laughing now, because when we used to call it the party system and the parent system, she reminded us, no teachers, it's the critical friends that they call it now. And so he's critical friends with a little young miss that I call Patsy. And when I couldn't find him for 2 classes, well, I said, no man, where is Timmy? I said, Patsy, where's your party? And she said, Miss, don't worry yourself. And she found his address. And we went and found him. He was by his father's business place working. I said, Daddy, talk to me. If you don't send this boy to school, what you spent 2-3 decades building, in the space of 2 weeks in ET and broke it down to nothing. And before you knew it, little Timmy was back in action at school. The love relationship continues. Exercise. Rosie?
Okay, so there's a topic on the foods syllabus which asks us for exercise. And can I tell you, colleagues, in the physical, trust me, when you see me and Miss Mullins and the other colleagues, Mr. Johnson, Miss Phillips, and we grab on our gears and we are on the field with our students, along with our PE teachers, we are there and we are doing well. So when we went to the virtual space, I said, colleagues, we are going to continue our exercise. And of course, we went online and we found the videos from the Jamaica moves. And trust me, the Jamaica move videos are nice. And we upload them in our classroom. We screen share. If we, I tell you, colleagues, these students have the devices at home that can play the music loud and strong. So we let them play it and we exercise. I remember one day I was in class, we turned on our screens and we were exercising. Here this, I saw this boy, woo, woo. So I said, I spotlighted him and look at what he was doing. The boy sat on the bed, had water in his hand, splashing on his face, and he's woo, woo. I said, listen to me, boy, come on now. I'm not joking. And when he started, I was serious, everybody got into it. A girl said, Miss, I thought it was going to be very boring, so I wasn't going to join. I said, boring? And in the end, you can give them a little of their music, you know, and let them dance and enjoy themselves because exercise is the name of the game. And for CXC students, they do need the evidence. So when they do this, they have their evidence up and going.
That's right. And they're tickled pink to know that teachers have tights and yoga pants too. Take a look at this one now, a little young man from Mrs. Daly Richards' class.
So no gas, no electricity, stove brought down. So I was ready to have my class. We were doing muffins again, quick breads. So I am roll calling and going on the list and I'm saying, are you ready? Are you ready? And can I tell you, I hear a little young man drawing up his nose. So I said, what happened? So I said, Mommy, because I called my parents, fortunately for me, quite a few of my parents work from home and some of my parents are here too. So they are teachers and colleagues. So I said to him, what's happening? And Mommy said, Miss, the stove broke down. Daddy's on the ground pulling out the stove bottom. So I said, Mommy, you have any zinc at home? She said, yes, Miss. I said, Mommy, you remember we used to do pudding long time? I don't know if Mommy and I are the same age, but I just assume. And I said, Mommy, we're going to let him get the concept of mixing the muffin, and then we're going to put it in a cake pan. After I said it to Miss Molly, she said, Rosie, you know, you could have put it in the muffin pan, and I didn't thought about that. But at that time, we didn't get to capture that moment. So afterwards, Mommy said, Miss, that bill we up, man. And we put on a pizza baking. I said, send me the pictures, Mommy. So look at, if you look at it, pizza to the work on the cold stove. So we don't worry about, and I have gotten my parents to a point where they are comfortable with us, myself and Mrs. Mullins, where they are able to just go the extra mile because at the end, colleagues, we want the pictures, we want the evidence, and we want the students to work at getting the best grade possible.
True, and we want them to develop skills and competencies and remember to build those family bonds. That's important. Talk about this parent, Rosie.
All right, so this parent, I'm sure she's here. And if you look, I'm sure she's in the chat and she's seeing herself. She is one of my top parents. I won't say favorite, but top. So anytime I want anything done, I can say, Mommy, and she say, yes, in the background. So our parents are able to help us. Our parents do the testing and they photograph themselves in it too, because guess what? We want real life things, you know, we don't want anybody to think it's fairy tale. And we send home information to them. So fill out this form, tell us about it. So I like to share a story with you too. Ms. Mullins and I love sharing stories.
Quick one, Rosie, quick one.
Yes, I was telling you, we are doing a testing for muffins. So a girl said, Mommy's not here. I said, put your little brother in. Little brother is about 5. So I said to him, tell me about the muffin. He said, 10, Miss, 10. So I said, what is 10 for? He said, she said, 10. So at 10, I said, what it tastes like? He said, Bula. That's the end of my story.
Oh my God, Rosie, you're crazy, but I can't. You're something else. And here we see parents continuing to just hone and develop their skills, and they are so proud to be a part of their children's experience. These are practicals done just yesterday, grade 10s and 11s, doing their smoothies suitable for persons with non-communicable diseases or lifestyle diseases. And so, you know, we salute the women, but I want to big up the men. Look at this candidate. We're going to call her Little Lilybeth. Look at Lilybeth smiling with delight as she watches her brother sampling her fruit delight on skewers. Big brother took the time off from work that day to stay home, photograph, do the video, sample and give feedback. Now you tell me, if that doesn't work, what does? It's a sign that something is happening. And so when parents do well, we have to pick them up and affirm them. So what do we give them, Rosie?
Oh my, I tell you, as Jamaicans, we want to know that we feel good. People tell we say, you did a good job, but we don't just want to hear. So guess what? We give our parents the certificates. And we say, mommy and daddies, thank you. And November is coming up, colleagues, so we can try to give them a certificate. You can ask your principal for permission to use the school logo and their signatures. Or you can make your own and hand it to them. Have a little ceremony in your class. Send them by emails, and they'll be proud of it. And sure, the messages will come in. And as was done before in the previous session, these are your portfolio pieces. Right there, props. They are right there waiting for you. Not only did we affirm our parents, we affirmed our students. So we let them know we're not only looking for top students. There are some students who come to class very early. How are them? There are those who are good participants in class. You don't have to call it the name. I said, they are quick to open mics and answer. And then there are those who improve, and we call them the most improved. And trust me, it feels good. I surprised a few of mine the other day, and a girl said to me, Miss, me head so well when I see the email, and it come. So the students feel good. And I say to the classmate, I'm see who can beat so and so. I'm bribing them and I'm riling them up because I want them to do well. So let's affirm our parents in the epic love triangle.
That's right, affirm the children to and build that relationship. So let's look at the celebrities now that walk the red carpet in our classes. In our Google Classroom, we have a folder that is called the Red Carpet Suite. So it's really just for celebrities, it's like the Met Gala of Google Classroom. And so when students do their practicals, regardless of what the outcome is, once a child gives permission and the parents give permission as well, then the faces are blotted out because, they are young children, you want to protect their identity. If you get permission, you can reveal face. And their work is collaged and placed in the Red Carpet Suite. And so right after practical, you have a class, a postmortem class, and you roll them out and play the music. My children tend to love the Sasko song. What's the latest Sasko song, Rosie? Go again, winning right now? That's right.
I am winning right now.
All right, hold your composure, Rosie. And so we play the song, and sometimes we play Chronics too. He's our alumni, and we're proud of him. And the children walk out and they tell us about what is happening in the pictures. They talk about the positives first, and then they say ways in which they can improve. And it helps us to improve as well. You'll notice that this young man is not dressed in his uniform. He's in his white gear, fabric, but there are times when children might not be at their home or they don't have the uniform. Once the clothing is modest and appropriate, then we will allow that. Remember, flexibility under COVID conditions, very important.
This also want to make the point that sometimes we allow them to wear their white t-shirt over the top. If they have a large white shirt for daddy, put it on too, because we don't want to lower the standards. Neither are we going to kill them, because we have to remember, things have changed, colleagues.
Right. COVID time, no headgear. I had a girl who had no headgear at all. I said to her, what do you have? Any white fabric? No white handkerchief. I say, you have any white merino? That you have any white merino that, you can't park it? No. And she said, yes, miss. I said, go ahead, use the white merino, bring back the hair, tie the hair, and put the knot at the back. No big knot on top or in the front like that. And she fixed it so nicely, you could never tell in the pictures that it wasn't an official white headgear. And so we have to flex. And so as we come to the end of our presentation, we are saying that this is the new normal. I don't see us going back to what we had before March 2020. It's a different normal, and we have to embrace it with the vim and the vigor. Mr. Leslie spoke about me not being a tech person. I'm not a tech person, I never was. I was able to help myself and to do little things, but let me tell you about this COVID thing. COVID come for good and it come for bad. And let me tell you that COVID was my moment. I've always had my moments. I tend to be a very quiet person sometimes, but I do like sharing. And so here you see pictures of us sharing. Rosemary and my friend Shardine, the Costa Walker, excellent young lady from St. Catherine again. See us here consulting with 6th formers, product modification and working on their IAs. Look at us again. These are the food warriors. That's what we call ourselves. The grade 10 and grade 11 food and nutrition group. That's me and Rosie, smiling as usual. Mr. Jermaine Johnson, Miss Norel Phillips from our department. And this is my PD party for life. And we'll always remain that way, even if the friendship break up. Fingers crossed that it never will. But we have to learn to share. We have to learn to upskill. We have to learn to network. I've always loved doing PD courses because they help you to be a better person.
And
But
let's not forget our other PD partner, Miss Rosalie D'Souza from Charlemont High School,
that's
who is
right.
on the ride with us.
That's right. And Rosie is always game. And we have used this model as our action research. We are doing this as the action research, and we are currently finalizing the document. Scaffolding, flexi scheduling, parental involvement in just a very educational way.
Critical friends.
Critical
the use of critical friends.
That's right. And so this is just one way. We have many ways that we have devised over the years and we have shared with each other, but this is just one tool that we have been using since this COVID pandemic that has been helping us. We did it last year and it worked wonderfully. We are now replicating and bettering it so that we can use it. We are currently using it now with grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, and the grade 7 teachers. And I must give a big shout out to Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Reddy Stewart, Melrose Reddy Stewart, Rosemary Pinnock, Miss Shereen Denton, all of us, part and parcel of the home ec team at St. Catherine High, led by Miss Rose Morris, our head of department. And we do well. We are not showing off. Mrs. Wilmot says, don't show off. Let your work showcase what you do. And so this is what we have to present today. And again, remember, we are not here purporting that everybody should do this, but what we are saying to you is that we have done this. It has worked for us. We'll continue to develop on it. And if you choose to use it or to develop on it and it works for you, then there you go. Thanks so much for having us this afternoon. And we thank JTC for affording us this opportunity to share. Rosie, final statement?
Thank you, colleagues. And trust me, if you work together, Mrs. Wilmot, keyword collaborate, colleagues. If you collaborate, colleagues, then we will make it. And we love to say fake it until we make it, but this is not fake it. This is reality. And we have got to work with it. Thank you for listening to us this afternoon.
That's right. We are branding, but we have the goods. We have the goods for the package, the branded package. Mr. Leslie, it's your turn.
Boy, the last PD day we had, Gina, I sat here and I cried as I listened to Gina. That was the last PD day, and boy, I tell you, Gina, I sat here and the goose pimples and just the way that you and Rosemary have so easily presented so casually presented what you have done, almost as if it is run of the mill. This is great work you guys are doing. Absolutely great work. I am so impressed with the effort that you guys have made and just how you have pivoted during the pandemic, and how, Gina, as you said, you are having your moment. Absolutely. And Rosemary, I now know that you should always present with Gina. What a pair you make. What a duo you two make. I tell you, you guys are excellent. Excellent.
You,
I want
sir.
to open the floor for a minute or two. If anybody wants to just comment or even ask a question of the two presenters, you can just put up your hand. If you want to commend them, I know a lot of commendations are blowing up in the chat. But Florence, I'm going to allow you because I know you certainly were, like me, I could just see the comments you were making. Go ahead, Florence. Florence Wickham, there are two Florence, look at that. Oh, there's Florine and Florence. Florence, go ahead.
Hello, everybody.
Greetings, Florence.
Hi, Florence.
Greetings.
Boy, I am so impressed. Gina, oh God, Rosemary, oh God. I'm saying, I'm a math teacher. And I'm saying, boy, I sit here and I just enjoy myself. Ladies, you did, oh my, exceptionally well. And I'm saying, I didn't want to stay, because I came for the other session. But when Mr. Leslie said I must stay, but I said, I thought this not having to do with me. But ladies, oh my God, you really made my evening.
Yes.
Stopping on the cake, and boy, goose pimples with those boys. I'm saying I have a question for boys. Honestly, I have something for boys. I always see those boys coming out and they're doing the cooking, and ladies, they went all out. And I'm saying, the little pandemic stop you. And I'm saying, continue to shine and continue the love triangle. Boy, it's really love for you. I really love. 100% blessings.
That's what we do at St. Catherine. We do it for the love. We do it for the likes too, but we do it primarily for the love.
Yes, yes. And we should point out, I can't help but say it, and Florence, I hope you don't mind if I say it. I'm sure you don't mind if I say it, that
No.
Florence is the mother of the 2021 Rhodes Scholar. I'm going to repeat that again for you. Florence Wickham is the mother of Fitzroy, I think is his name. Fitzroy Pablo Wickham, I think is how he goes by. The current 2021 Rhodes Scholar. Florence Wickham, who you just heard from, is mother. So congrats on that again, Florence. Every time I see you, I know I tell you that, and I'm just so
Thank
glad
you,
that
Mr.
you
Wesley.
stayed. Yes, so I'm gonna take one more, guys. Look here, it's 3 presentations we have like this, and we want to be out of here at 4:45. So I'm gonna take one more. So I'm going to lower all of the hands. Forgive me. I'm going to lower all the hands. And if you, unless you have a really pressing question, it's pressing or a pressing comment, you can put up your hand now.
Mr. Leslie,
Yes.
I just want to say I'm proud of my mentors. Can I just say that? Clap, clap.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Boy, I tell you, we have some teachers here in Jamaica, you see. Oh boy, I don't think we sing their praises enough. And teachers, I know you sometimes think that the minister just throw work at you and we don't like you. We know that there's a narrative like that out there. Trust me. We do this so that what we're seeing here this afternoon, we can institutionalize. We want every teacher to be able to speak with the confidence and with the accomplishment that Gina and Rosemary have just spoken. So we do it so that this can be the end result. And we are working with us, and we know you have our full support, or the other way around. Bridget, you had a final comment before we just go to the next presenter. Bridget?
Thank you, Mr. Leslie. Good afternoon, teachers. I must say, I'm a primary teacher, and when I was listening to the e-portfolio I was on, I sent in our teacher group. I feel sick, honestly. But I decided to stay on. And ladies, I'm telling you, you did it for me. Thank you. God bless you. I'm so happy.
But okay, and I take your comment, and I'm glad that you have shared that. But might I also encourage you to see within the display of what I might call perfection, a chance for you, and I'm speaking about the e-portfolio presentation. And certainly Jodian has such a gift for technology and for building website and for presenting information that even me sitting here, and I built a website for myself the other day, and I'm sitting here feeling like, God have mercy, what I built was foolishness. But I'm just telling you, do not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Start somewhere. Bridget and all of you teachers out there, start somewhere. Start somewhere.
Yes,
you may not have a website that looks like Jodian at first, or perhaps ever at all. That's fine. Start somewhere. Do not allow the perfect to rob you of the opportunity to do well. Okay?
Yes, Mr. Leslie.
Right. And again, big shout out to Jodian. Jodian, I don't think you realize that if you start handing out business cards, just this evening alone, you're gonna get about 500 clients with people who want to pay you to build their website. Okay, so if there are no other comments, directed at Jodian, no, not Jodian, I'm sorry, not Jodian at all, Gina and Rosemary, we are going to now move to the next presentation. And that presentation is going to come to us from Mrs. Michelle Bright-Chinsey. Mrs. Bright-Chinsey is a visual arts teacher at the Wolmer's Boys School. She is also a moderator and a marker for the Caribbean Examination Council. She is a Google certified educator. She is a master teacher, a master trainer. She's a mentor. She is a curriculum team lead and coach. And she's here this afternoon. And again, just to be clear, she's currently a serving teacher at the Wolmer's Boys School. So as I'm speaking about her, you almost think we flew her down from foreign. And she's staying at the Pegasus. And no, she is a teacher serving and living here in Jamaica. She teaches at the Wolmer's Boys School. And she'll be talking to us this afternoon along the topic of I know the topic, from visual arts to virtual arts. I'm going to tell you properly in a minute. Coupling visual arts with virtual arts. So I'm just going to invite Michelle to take the floor now. Go ahead, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leslie. Okay,
Great.
good.
Welcome.
Pleasant afternoon, everyone. Okay, we have all embarked on a journey into the online space to do delivery for about 1.5 years now. Teachers and students have been adapting somewhat, and we know it's not without its challenges. So this afternoon, I would like to share with you as a facilitator, some of the things that I've been doing, just a few things that I've been doing, you know, trying to couple visual arts with the virtual arts. So here we go. So the facilitation of visual arts involves lots of physical supervision, you know, identifying the skills of the learners, motivating, coaching, planning, and all the necessary things we do in teaching and learning that works well, of course, in the physical space. Now, how was I going to do this virtually? How was I going to adapt to this delivery on the online space? One word, dauntlessness. Yes, I remember feeling like, you know, when I just started, I can just imagine that a skydiver jumping out of the plane for the first time, you know, just depending on one single parachute for a safe landing. That's how I felt when I started, and I had to dig deep. I had to remain determined and resilient. I had to find my inner lion, like most of us here. Now, the first thing that I had to do, you know, while I was adapting is finding my digital sneakers. I mean, most of us have to actually find our actual sneakers during when the pandemic started, but I had to find my digital sneakers, right? After finally landing on this digital platform, you know, the green light was up and I had to go. But unfortunately, you see, web conferencing was not, you know, the thing that the learners need alone, right? That is settling. You have to actually go above and beyond. So guess what? I had to use YouTube as my university. I dubbed YouTube University and enrolled in many, many courses. As I learned, I taught, and even my students got a chance to teach me a thing or two. Except for YouTube pre-COVID, I had no idea that these digital tools exist, let alone for teaching and learning, not at all. I did a lot of experimenting, not just to benefit me, but help the students use the digital applications to create art. The previous presenter mentioned Canva, and Canva is just one of many of the tools that some of the students were already familiar with, and I was able to integrate that into my lessons. You know, providing instructions for differentiation. Not all students know how to use the tools. Not all students were working online. So I had to ensure that I was meeting my objectives and everybody was able to benefit. You know, giving the students a choice in creating and how they wanted to express themselves while you're meeting your objectives. I've not worn out my digital sneakers yet because, as you know, these things are ongoing, they're forever changing. So I also have to keep going. So while that slide is coming up, I'm going to talk a little bit about making and curating virtual material. It is not enough to post a syllabus or course outline in the Google Classroom or whatever LMS that you're using. It is not adapting, as I said before, you'll be just settling. There is a plethora of instructional videos out there online with arts and crafts, but very few, and I am going to repeat, very few dealt with lessons specific to my course. The learners need to access material to work asynchronously, and I need to provide a teaching presence when there was no teacher present. I created digital workbooks that will carry the students through courses for the term. Thus the learners can work on their own at their own pace. And many times they stay ahead of the lessons or the topics before they were introduced in the class synchronously. The live sessions are used mostly for clarifications and to make ideas more concrete. So as you see running in the background, there are study guides, instructional videos, posters, or any material useful not only for the students, but also for the parents, because the parents are the ones that are doing the moderating behind the screen. Now, organizing my workspace. Yes. This is organized chaos. Other than creating your banner, your unique banner for your Google Classroom, for those who are using it, I had to transform my physical space that I'm working in an actual art room. Everything around me is quick access, right? Easy to demonstrate, reach for and demonstrate, right? I rarely ever use a background, right? I normally put up things in my environment, you know, suitable for the lesson or something that will just spark a discussion for that day. So this is how I organize my space. Now, as the previous presenters mentioned, this is COVID time. So we have to utilize material around the home. We repurpose, recycle, reuse. So between the frequent lockdown and curfew, parents head out to work and come back with little time to go hunting for art materials. Yes? Unfortunately, in many cases, some students don't have it. I'm frugal and I encourage my students to use discarded material. However, the learners can efficiently dismantle some creations to actually return it to the original use. So where you see here on the screen with the wind chime, that is a student who went into his father's toolbox and actually created a wind chime coupled with a plastic bottle, right? And when this assignment was marked, you know, he dismantled and returned the tools. He got it. He got that concept, wind chime. Here with the mask, that is a plastic bottle. You don't much catch up the big 2-liter bottles we throw away, and they can do many things. So that what you see there with the animal were made from the plastic bottles there, right? Soft sculpture, going around the house picking up things like yarn and those things. They are able to do sculpture with stuff around the house. That pendant is made from natural, like dried leaves and a bit of mommy's discarded or old jewelry or jewelry that she don't wear anymore. So that was a pendant that a student made. I'm so proud of them when they're able to go out and, you know, think critically and repurpose, reuse, and still able to understand the concepts. Now beyond the screen. It is crucial to give support, especially for my senior students preparing for external exam. I put together a little extra water in those plants because they quickly dry out under the heat of preparing for SBAs. I found myself bargaining with managers of stores I frequent for art supplies. You know, it is beneficial to form relationships. I like to go in and introduce myself. Hi, I'm Michelle Brighton C. I'm an art teacher, you know, teach by Woolmers. Yes. And so by doing this, I was able to pull some material together and the rest is history. What you're seeing there are the students showing me on the screen. Yes, miss, I picked up my package. You know, I packaged the things and I sent home to them. Yes, miss, see it here. One was even telling this, trying to relate to me that they were reading a letter because I wrote individual letters to each student, you know, explaining what is in the package, hoping that it is useful. So his mother, and he was sitting down there singing the song with Blue's Clues that they got a letter and they were so excited to see what was in there. But yes, this is some of the things that I have been doing to help the students, and I know many other teachers have been doing this as well. Time out. Let's see if you can hear this video. And it's not what you think. It's not sitting in the corner. So I'm hoping it played. Just creating a little break in between lessons. You see, because some of these students are on classes back to back to back to back. And when they get to you, they tend to be a little lost. Even the brightest student seems dull. So I create what is called a brain break, get the students involved. And it's essential that when you get them involved and moving, you move right along with them, right? You don't worry about what is on the screen. They open up the screen and they show you that they're participating. Sometimes I ask them on a day to wear a hat. Another day, they wear a tie. And another day, they wear a mask, probably of their favorite villain or superhero. Who knows? I can tell you last summer. Can I see you get up under the Gangnam Style? So while it is worn, I had a student who actually put on a pot because he said that he didn't own any hat. So he put a pot on the day when we were wearing hat. It was hilarious. So this helped to build relationship, right? And it helped with social community with the students. So I'm sorry this video is taking so long to roll up, but so maybe we'll be able to see this another time. So let's go to the next one. So at this point in time, yes, I don't want to keep you here forever. So that is just my way of coupling visual arts with virtual arts in a nutshell. So are there any questions?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Bright Chinsi. Let me just go to the participant list and make sure that I am keeping track of my questions. Right. So is there any question at anybody? I see Arisa Green Beckford. Arisa, is your hand up for this for this presentation, or was it up from before? Arisa? Not hearing Arisa. Okay, is there any question about?
Can I see you get up under the Gangnam Style? It's still not playing for you. I am so sorry. All right. All right, we'll leave that one alone.
Right. Okay, let me ask you though, and one of the things I was wondering about as you presented, and I know Gina and Rosemary spoke at length about just the parental roles and how they would have been able to support the learning process. What was that like for you? What was your experience with that, getting the parents involved in this activity to support the students?
Sure. My institution actually did courses for the parents. You know, we meet them and we take them through the Google Classroom, how to search for the assignments, if they were done, if they were not done. And many times I find myself doing a walkthrough with individual parents, because maybe at the time they weren't able to attend, and they will call me and say, this is what you need to check for, you know, or, you know, they're using a new digital tool and this is how you can help them. So it's a lot of times it's one-on-one with the parents at the different levels.
Right. Somebody's also asking me to find out from you if you use paid apps or free apps.
Oh my. We're all teachers here.
Yes.
I use the free apps. I use the free apps and I work them.
Okay.
As much as I can get them, I work them. Yes.
All right, no problem. Thank you. Let me go to the hands that I see. Marsha, is that Lord or Neil? Marsha, go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Just a question here in terms of for like the primary level, what are the, the format in which you could just ask them to do something where maybe they are not able to go to Canvas and stuff, like if you have the slides, could you use the slides and the Jamboards like to ask them to create stuff on it? Have you done anything like that so that I could maybe just incorporate it instead of sometimes just giving them sheets that they color or something like that? They could create something for themselves.
Of course, once they are familiar with Microsoft, the Microsoft tools like Windows, Microsoft Publisher, PowerPoint, they can do a lot. If they are not able to be online, they can actually work, and it's very simple, and they learn fast. So yes, they can manipulate those applications to create works or complete assignments. That's the answer you're looking for? I hope that answers your question.
Marsha, you good?
Yes, hello, yes, I'm hearing you. Sorry about that. I was trying to
so if they can't use go on the Canva and so on, I've had students create their like poster design and logo design. They create them offline using the Microsoft Publisher, or go on PowerPoint and put elements together and create it.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. Yes, that's what I just need to have a clear understanding of, because sometimes you do some little stuff with them and you'd like to get their personal feedback, but you just want something that is appropriate for their age level that they can really manipulate.
Oh yes, man, easy, yes.
Okay, thank you much.
You're most welcome. Are there any other questions?
Thank you. Is there anybody else who wishes to just go to the chat? Let me also jump over to YouTube, which, forgive me, my YouTube friends, I have not been as attentive in that regard as I should be. As a matter of fact, I'm having significant challenges just moving between windows. So at this moment, I can't seem to load my YouTube. I'm just trying to make sure that we're okay over there. I don't see anything I need to perhaps respond to or bring to your attention. Indeed. All right, great. So Michelle, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. I know you and I were up even last night discussing the presentation. So I know you put a lot of work into it, and I really appreciate the effort and the time. So thank you very much for pulling it together. And I'm sorry you weren't able to show the video because teachers, you may not know it, but that was a video of Michelle dancing Gangnam Style. Well, not quite.
With my students.
But Michelle's class, all right. And it's just about the way you engage your students in the virtual space, as a part of how you want.
It's still working.
Yeah. Marsha, not Marsha, is that Tristan? Guys, we cannot press for time, but let me just see if I can take these comments or questions. Tristan?
Yeah. Hi, gentlemen. Good evening. It's really just a shout out or kudos to Mrs. Chinsey. I love the fact that, she's not afraid to let any of us be her guinea pig, a co-worker of hers. And, she encourages us a lot to share our best practices and things like those. It's something that you would see whether she's face-to-face or, in the virtual classroom. And as such, I guess a lot of our classes are like that at Wolmer's, and I really do appreciate it. And Mrs. Chinsey, I think all your coworkers do appreciate it as well.
Thank you very much.
And I really ought to have, and I'm sorry for not having done it earlier, really just big up this staff. Those who are here, but let's start with St. Catherine High School. That also, mind you, is my alma mater. That's the best high school in Jamaica, absolutely. We have, well, let's not get into bragging about high schools, huh? But absolutely, I want to just say a big shout out to the staff, and if anybody from administration or leadership from St. Catherine High School is here, just giving a shout out. And also, I know the Wolmer's Boys School, I know there are colleagues in the room of yours from Woolmer's Boys. So I want to also give them a shout out. And if anybody from administration or leadership is there, then absolutely, excellently. I certainly want to give them a shout out as well. Right. I just want to take one more hand perhaps, and then we definitely will be, okay, yeah, let's not start talking about high school, guys, please. We're definitely going to be out of here after this one last hand. Is that Oya? I don't want to attempt to pronounce your last name, Oya. Perhaps you can just share it with us when you speak. Oya?
Yes, it's Oya Kujichagulia.
Oh, that rolls off the tongue, nice. That rolls off the tongue, very nice. Yes.
Hi, Michelle. I saw somebody wrote it in the chat, and I think it's an important question or something to bring back. Being a CXC teacher myself, I want to know how is it that you manage or handle the students doing their SBA pieces? So could you just comment a little bit on that for me?
With a lot of care. So when we had the lockdown last year, of course, with permission from parents, principals, you can meet with them one-on-one, you know, in a location, usually on the school compound, of course, you know, taking them through their pieces, helping them to finish up their portfolio. Those who can meet online, we meet online, and they will leave their works at the school, and then we assess it and ask them to, you know, pick it up, put on the final touches, because not everything you can actually see through the screen, right? The picture tells a different story other than when you see the physical work many times. So that's what we had to do with the group. So it was a lot of back and forth, but it was worth it. The boys did well.
Right, thank you for that. Teachers will really are pressed for time, and we won't be able to take. Let me just take Anif Grant, in the interest of ensuring that we hear from another sex and not just women. Hanif, go ahead.
Yes, sir. The information was very relevant and valuable, but I was wondering if there would be or would have been anything for technical vocational instructors, because some of the persons within this meeting are from technical vocational high schools. So we would have really wanted to have a delivery on how to teach a technical skill subject like electrical installation, motor vehicle repairs, welding, or fashion design, which really is similar to visual arts.
Well, okay, so two comments very quickly. Absolutely, I think that we certainly should and could get somebody from that area. The truth is finding persons to share their stories sometimes can be a little challenging. I think that what we perhaps need to do, Anif, and I'm glad that I took your hand because I think it is such a lovely point you have raised. I think what we perhaps should do, Hanif, is to see if we could identify teachers and we could meet again like this at another time. And then the focus then could be, as you say, the technical vocational subject. Mind you, we do consider, you know, the subjects that Gina and Rosemary teach to be technical vocation. So certainly their own methodologies are practices that could be emulated across the board. But I do know that in terms of the physical demands, you know, electrical installation right away clearly is a different kind of skill set, a different kind of demand from the food and nutrition or the clothing and textile. So absolutely, I think we absolutely should have a wider presentation where we are speaking more about more practical subjects and not just the three that we're highlighting this afternoon. Of course, as you'd imagine, time this afternoon won't allow us to get into all of those. But Anif, I don't know if you would be prepared to share your story. And I'm not putting you on the spot, but I'm also saying that we sometimes do have a problem finding persons who are willing to share their story. And so this afternoon, we are going with the three teachers who we were able to locate, who were willing and were willing to share their story. So if you want to share your story with us, Anif, you can send me a direct message. I'm not putting you under pressure. Or if you want to recommend somebody who you know, then that is also very useful. Thanks. All right, Michelle, any final comment before we go to our final presentation for the afternoon? Michelle, you still there?
No, not really. It was just a pleasure to be here and to just share my experience. I mean, it might be a little different for other teachers, but the work continues, whether we are face-to-face or virtual. It is the same. We just have to keep pushing to facilitate the students.
Right, indeed. Great. And teachers, I see a lot of you asking about the form for registration. This session is nowhere near finished. We have one other presentation left, and we will share the link with you momentarily, but at least allow the other presenter to speak a little, because we want you to when you go to the forum, to be able to answer questions about the presentations. You wouldn't be able to answer questions about the presentations if you haven't even heard the third and final presenter for the afternoon. So we will share the link for the forum with you in a few minutes, but just give us a little time, please. And so without any further ado, I'm going to invite our final presenter. And teachers, you have tarried with us for a while, and we really thank you for that. Our final presenter for the afternoon is Mrs. Janet White Taylor. She is a teacher of agricultural science at the Geisel High School. She will be sharing with us this afternoon on the topic, let me tell you the topic, forming a farming relationship online. Let me say that again, forming a farming relationship online. Mrs. White Taylor, are you hearing us and ready to go?
I am hearing you, sir, and ready to go.
Great, excellent. So the floor is yours for the final presentation for the afternoon. And so teachers, you are still with us. Let me just encourage you to continue to tarry with us. Oh, and while Mrs. White Taylor gets herself ready, I'm glad that I see a few persons in the chat asking me about how they volunteer to serve or to share their story. So please, if you wish to, I don't have a form pre-prepared, but if you just put your name and email address in a direct message to me right now in the chat, then I can reach out to you immediately after. Just put your name and your email address in a direct message in the chat, and I will reach out to you immediately after the presentation, so that we can get in touch and just start communicating. And of course, I have to big up the staff, the teachers, the members of the administrative and leadership team who are here from Geisel High School. I just want to thank them for lending to us today, Mrs. Janet White Taylor. Go ahead, Mrs. White Taylor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Leslie, the members of the Jamaica Teaching Council and colleagues. Thank you for the patience as I go into my presentation. Today, I want to share with you my story, forming a farming relationship online. And so I want to go into my presentation. I hope you're ready for this. Just breathe and relax as I move into this presentation. When COVID-19 came and I had to readjust myself, it was a challenge for me. And so I was spending a lot of time on my computer, in the classroom day and night, planning my lessons. And there were times when I turn off a class, and this is a day when I turn off a class, and if you notice, my hair is not combed. I am on 2 devices trying to get things done. The struggles, they are real. And there were days when I felt discouraged and I just wanted to be in my class. But then I realized that that was not enough and I had to move away from that mindset. And so I then look at myself and the problems that I am facing and my students. And these are just a few of the challenges I'm listing here. So some students did not know how to use your device. They did not have any device, because Geisel High School is located in rural Jamaica. There were serious internet connectivity issues, unstable, spotty. As a matter of fact, I was a little bit concerned because it was raining earlier. And when it rains in Geisel, you know, the internet is going to be very spotty. So I'm hoping that you're hearing me. Can you hear me well?
Yes, yes, loud and clear, loud and
Good,
clear.
good. And so as I entered that online platform, there were times when I was talking, students were saying, but Miss, we can't hear you. And then when I looked, they said, Miss, your mic is muted. And then too, sometimes the students would not respond to me. And then I would start to feel funny. And then one day, a boy opened his mic to talk to me. And what I heard in his background, I just asked him kind of just to close his mic. And so the challenges were real that the students were having. I started to feel a sense of loneliness and depression. I was missing my students, and I realized that they were missing me too. And even though we were online and some students were there, most of my students, they were absent from the online school. And so walking through my process as I went through this time, there were days when I wanted to disappear, because when I go online, when the internet is up and running, I am alone in the meet and no student is there with me. There were other days when I had days of depression, when I go through the activity with the students, go through the farm practice, and I ask them, no, put out the assignment. No one turns in their assignment. And then I realized that some students did not know how to use their device, and they did not know how to turn in the assignment. And so at this point, I realized that I now need to look at all the other platforms that are out there in order to reach my students. So we were in Google Classroom, we were on Zoom, we were in WhatsApp, we were using SMS messages, we were doing all the things that we could do. We were making an appointment to meet at the school sometimes just to ensure that my students were not left behind. Now, these are some of the solutions, because I know I have to think carefully as an agricultural science teacher, because food security is important in our nation. And so I had to look at the situation, and I said to myself, I will not allow this time to compromise the quality of learners for those whose hands the future of the country lies. And so I had to get up out of my loneliness and depression, and I said, let me move forward. And so I started to consult the students. I said, students, what are we going to do? And the kind of assistance that they gave me, we benefit from that relationship. How I assess the students, I have to change the way I do that. I have to now go back to look at the STEM and the stream, and to know that some students, they are not scientifically oriented, but they are good with technology. I was doing all kinds of things just to make sure that I could assess my students. Sometimes I'll not see students for weeks on end. And when I do meet them, I have to like reteach. I have to go over the lesson, because sometimes I have only 2 students. A day, 10 students turn up, and I have to say, okay, students, I want to make sure that we are all at the same place. There were days I thought I wasn't moving, but I realized that the students were feeling better, and I was feeling better. So as students, we have the skills that we must cover for the exam, because I teach CSEC and CAVE students. And I said, okay, students, when I went to YouTube, the videos that I see, the voices are strange. It's not making sense. And they said, Miss, why don't you make your own videos? Of course, we laugh a lot. And I said, me? They said, yes, miss. And I said, all right, because you have that confidence in me, then I'm going to go ahead and do it. So what I do for students who are having data problem, when I do get them in either WhatsApp or Google or Zoom, and I will allow them in that meet a little time for them to do assignment, screen share their screen, do everything right there, because I know that tomorrow or the next day, or maybe until next week, before those students will be able to join me online. So I have to decide on a reward system. So I decided to give the students their credit, maybe for 2 days, 3 days, sometimes a week, based on if it's Lime or if it's digital. And one of the things I learned with all of this as I teach practical online is that as teachers and practitioners, we must have the tools of our trade available to us so that we can work in this time and be relevant. And so communication was key in this time that we are in. And one of the things I learned in this time is to practice emotional intelligence. I had to look at the students, listen to their conversations, and realize that I don't have to feel bad. I no need to reach out and get to my students. Because if I was a student in this time, I would not have a device because my mother did not have electricity and I would not be on any line at all. So when I listen to their conversations, before I start my lesson, I always like to give them something just to brighten their day and to brighten mine as well. So I'm just going to go and play one of the little things that I normally give to my students in the mornings. I'm sorry, can you hear the video?
No, share your computer sound.
Right.
It's very low.
Okay, so I need to share sound.
You might have to stop sharing and start again.
Okay, let me go again.
Good morning. I know it's hard to wake up because the sun's in your eyes and sometimes life kinda sucks, but you got this. And hey, you never know, there's a million different ways that this whole day could go. So I'm just popping in to say, I hope you have a good day.
So I have to always remember that this pandemic and the online, it sucked, but I said to students, hey, we have got this because guess what? We are still together. And these are the kind of conversations we have first. I want to know if they are well, if their parents are well, if Auntie Berry yet, when is the funeral? I had to have that conversation with my students to let them know that we are all in this together. And sometimes we'll reminisce online. We talk about our days when we had farm, face-to-face farm practice. Those days we could share, we spent quality time together, and there was never a dull moment because guess what? We were never alone. But when things changed, all of us went back to our own homes and farm practice become something that is so lonely that many students did not even know what to do. But then I remember the suggestion from the students and I said, okay, let me do my videos. By the time I started to do my videos, I was not able to share with other teachers. And so what I've done, I've cut the video that I'm going to show you as I went into farm practice number 9 under the CSEC syllabus that I'm going to share with you at this time. To have our cutlass, very important. We're going to need our rake. We're going to need our fork. We're going to need our hoe, and we're also going to need our spade. So these are some tools that we are going to be using this morning. Once you have identified the site, we're going to clear the area that we have identified of all bushes and weeds. If we have like large stones and stubbles, we need to get them out of the area. So we clear that area using the cutlass. Once we have done that, we want to then use either the hoe or the rake, and we are going to scrape up and we're going to remove all of those weeds from the area. And then we're going to move on to plowing the area using the garden fork. Once we have plowed it, we then have to get our cutlass and we're going to break up the large clots of dirt and refine the soil to a very fine tilth, because we want to make sure that the small seeds that we are going to plant, they'll be able to push through the soil. Once we have refined the soil, students, we then have to now apply what we call some organic fertilizer and also inorganic fertilizer, along with some soil insecticide and fungicide. But I'm not going to be using insecticide and fungicide today because you cannot use those chemicals without the proper protective gear. So what I'm going to be using instead of the soil fungicide and insecticide, I'm going to be using some dishwashing liquid mixed in water that I'm going to spray in the soil, and that should be able to do the trick for us. Good. Once we have applied the organic and the inorganic manure and our dishwashing liquid, we are going to then incorporate these materials into our soil. When that is done, guys, we're going to level off the area or the bed, and then we are going to wet up the bed, and then we are going to sow the seeds, and then we are going to cover the area. Good. Them up off the soil or the area that I'm going to prepare to make my seed bed. So in the interest of time, I speed up that. And the students would laugh and say, boy, miss you bad. Feeling tired already? Whew. Let me take a little rest, yes? All right, so we are going to move on. So now, once I've prepared, I've sent the video to these students. All the students now have to now show me evidence that they're able to carry out this practical activity, and they are able now to send that to me for me to see their evidence. So what I'm going to share with you now are some of my students' work. And we laugh about the little tongue tie that we have on all of these things. Sometimes they're not even sure what they're doing, but I embrace them and I said to them, students, you're students of excellence, continue to do well.
Hey guys, my name is Natalia Smith and today I will be doing my farming practice. So today the first thing I want to do is show you my tools that I will be using in this video. So firstly, I'll be using this mini shovel, this spray bottle which contains water, pak choy seeds, lettuce seeds, and my seed tray. So yes, this is called.
So that is one of my students. I'm going to move on to another student.
Good afternoon. Now I'll be doing my first farm practice for this term. I'll be doing seed preparation so that I can finish my crop SBA. The crop I'll be using is the pop choy, and I'll also be using the lettuce, but the lettuce will be used as an organic material. So see, I have a container and I bore holes so that the water may run out and not settle in the soil. Now I have my materials. I have the soil, I have some sand, sawdust, and water. So first I'll be putting the soil in the container. Bring it up. As you can see, the soil is moist, not too dry. So now I'll be mixing some of the sand in the soil. Now I'll mix it up. Have to make sure that it's even, so I'm just gonna flat out the top so that the water will not settle or distribute it unevenly. So before I put the seed in, I'm going to just mark some holes so that put some space so that the seed may be separated and they have room to grow. So come up, you can see. Now I'm going to pour the seed in the soil. So you can see. Now I'm going to pour it. I'm going to spread it evenly.
So that's another creativity from a student. This is another student. She's using tile. This is what she have at home. She have her 3 tiles there. Watering. Sow her seeds already. So my students, they were willing to step out of the box. And even though some of them did not have a lot of resources, they were still able to ensure that they could carry out their farm practice. And so when it came on to carrying out the business plan, because usually for the business plan, the students will come to the school and they'll make their different products and so on. So this time the student had to stay at home and to do that. And just to show you 2 of my students' work, and this is Delhi's soup kitchen with limited resources. He's inside his outside kitchen, making his soup, and then doing his final presentation. Clean, have on the right attire and so on. And I have so much respect for the student because even with little resources, the students were able to carry out their practicals. Another student, she's making her green shakes. She planted her pak choy at home, sent some to the market, made her quite a tidy sum of money, and then she was now able to make her juice. There's another student who did pak choy at home. And when the pak choy came in, he was so excited. He started going to the market and he told his other classmate that he's not going to come back to school because he's making so much money. I had to call him and say, listen, remember, you don't do the exam yet. You have to come back to school and to do the exam. So the students and the parents, they were excited because they were also earning as well from their children. And they were in the classroom taking notes too and asking questions. So it was really, and it is a really exciting experience for me to find new ways and doing. And even today, when I was preparing the presentation, I said to myself, me step out of PowerPoint and walk into Canva because I am learning so much in this time. And this is the finished product. She was able then to bottle and label her juice, and they were ready for the market. And so I would ask the students then, when the family members and the community members taste it, let me hear your comment. They would say, they say, nice, sell off, they want more, you know, and all of these comments. And I said, excellent, you're doing quite well, students. And the students did complete their SBAs. And so as I just want to let you know that in this time, it is important for us not to give up. My philosophy is, if I cannot find a way, I will make a way, and I also pass that on to my students so that they will not feel like they can't achieve anything, especially in this time. So as you reflect, thank you for joining me. Do you have any questions?
Wow, 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 Janet, you know, guys, let me tell you, I met Janet only over the phone, maybe about, it was last weekend, the weekend gone. Somebody recommended Janet to me and I met her over the phone, and her voice sounds strong. I'm not telling a lie, her voice sounds strong, but when men are talk, I said, what she teach farming? And then she sent me the presentation last night and I saw the video. My Lord have mercy. Janet, you are such an inspiration. You are such an inspiration. Your students are a reflection of the way that you have engaged them. I want to commend you personally. I really just want to let you know that I am so impressed with the way you have impacted your students, that they have remained committed even during a pandemic to put out such an effort. They must love you. You must have inspired them. You have taught them well. I am so pleased. I am so pleased. Your principal, Mr. Donald, is in the room. I want to give him a big shout out. I just want to let Mr. Donald know that we love schools that support teacher growth. Mr. Donald, I'm going to make you co-host in case you want to give a quick shout out to your teacher. I'm giving you that opportunity if you wish. I don't know if you came in here intending to speak. You don't have to turn on your camera at all. If you want to give her a quick shout out, you can go ahead and do that now, Mr. Donald, if perchance you are able to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leslie. Let me say good afternoon to everyone. It's a proud moment for me, a proud moment for Geisel High School, because what you saw there, Ms. Taylor demonstrating, just exemplifies the excellence that is produced at Geisel and the determination of our teachers. They are there for the students at all times, as Ms. Taylor would have demonstrated, and also as you would have seen from those videos. So it's a best practice being shared. I encourage my colleagues on the platform to likewise emulate and continue to give up ourselves for the children. They need us now more than any other time. And I'm very happy to know that Ms. Taylor is representing us.
Yes, indeed, indeed. You have a really excellent teacher there, Mr. Donald, and thank you for allowing her to share with us this afternoon. Teachers, I'm going to just allow you, if you want to just kind of comment. I know the chat is blowing up, Janet, if you can go over there and look. But also, I know a few teachers want to share with you over the mics. I'm going to allow that to happen now. Let me start with Tanaka. Is that Tanaka Roberts? Tanaka, go ahead. Tanaka, just go ahead, Tanaka. You have to be quick or time is running out fast. Oh Lord, and I'm seeing it again, Tanaka. Let me try Kamoya then. Kamoya Morant Brissett. Wait, what's happening? Is something going on my end? Kamoya? Oh, there you go.
Good afternoon, colleagues.
Yes, Kamoya, go ahead.
I stepped out a while ago just to go for my daughter. She was at the sitter, and I came back just to hear the ending part of your presentation. But I heard the initial part, and I'm so impressed. I have a son who is in fourth form, and he's doing agricultural science. And I was a little bit skeptic when he chose it, because I was saying that in the pandemic, how is he going to manage? And based on what I saw, I am happy that he did. And I will ensure that I have, because I'm just thinking now that I need to get some of the materials that I saw in your video, so that he can be prepared in advance. So in the event that he does need it. So I'm really happy that I came back and I got to hear the ending part of your the finished part of your presentation. So
Indeed,
thank you very
indeed.
much and wonder and good job.
Right, great. Janet, if you wish, you can put your if you wish, and I'm telling you to, you can put an email also in the chat so that persons can reach out to you. Other agriculture teachers, perhaps, or other parents who have children doing agriculture. If you wish to just be a resource to others, you can go ahead and put your comment in the chat. Your email address in the chat so that we can, they can get in touch with you. Let me just take one more hand, guys. We are pressed for time. There's another JTC activity going on now, and we really do want to quickly jump over to that. So I want to take another hand or two. And again, I really have to give a big shout out and, just a big commendation to all the members of staff from Geisel High School. Really, really glad that you are here with us this afternoon. Let me take I'm looking for a name that I have not seen before, or a name that, well, let me just go ahead with a random name then. Cynthia? Is that Cynthia Henry? Go ahead, Cynthia. Your mic is open, but we're not hearing you. Let's try again. Cynthia, go ahead. All right, Cynthia seems to be having a little problem. Let me then try with Claudia. Claudia Waldron Henry.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
Hi.
I am so impressed this afternoon. I came on really for the second session, and I decided that I wasn't going to stay on because I'm having severe back pains. But, as I continue to listen, I realize that this session is so interesting. And for the latter part, I tell you, I'm so impressed. I have a daughter in fourth form, and she's in agri-tech, and she's in her room for the entire day. these exposure are so good for the children. They need to get the hands-on practice, because what they read, yes, they will learn. What they see, they will learn, but what they do will stay with them forever. And this is what they actually need, the real life experience. They need to go out there and to show what is it they can do, and to get that level of development that will take them forward. I'm so impressed, Miss Taylor. I see myself in you. I'm also a strong voice educator, and sometimes I think I go overboard, but it's just in me. I talk very strongly. I am very emotional about teaching. I'm very emotional about my students. I just want to say thumbs up to you. Thumbs up to you. Continue doing a wonderful job.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, thank you. And that is benedictory in nature. And let me just take one more hand. But guys, like I said, we have another activity that JTC is going on right now, and I want to be a part of that activity. And we're a little bit over our time. So let me take one more hand. Amoy Wills Bishop. I know this name. It's been a while since I've heard her. Amoy?
Good afternoon.
Hi, greetings, Amoy.
I just want to add my bit to say this, should I say it's an addition or a medicine to what I am looking forward to. As my son left fifth form since July, and I said to my husband, what I saw happening to me when COVID came in, I was saying to myself, I don't have a skill. I've done a number of JTC courses, but I don't have a skill in the event they said to us we would not be in the classroom. So as others have said before, this is a great initiative for us to get the practical experience while online. So I told my husband this morning, our son will not be going to UTech until he goes to Hard Trust to get the training before going into this technical drawing thing. So thumbs up to you again, as others have said before. My second question is just to find out, are we to fill out all 3 forms in order to get the certificate?
Well, the certificates, you get a certificate for each session, for each course. So there would have been 3 sessions, one this morning at 10, additions have said course for each session, one this morning at 10, one at 1, and another that we're in now that started at 3:15. For each one that you participate in, you should complete that so that we know you were in the session.
I didn't get to join the first
All right.
one.
Again, I really don't want to get into too many of the housekeeping matters at this. Let us at least dismiss the session first before we get into the housekeeping matters, because there are still people who wish to speak about the session itself and not about the housekeeping matters. So if you stay online afterwards, I make myself available to provide whatever kind of support I can provide.
Okay.
All right, Amoy? Great. All right, so I'm just going to allow Janet one last chance to just kind of give her final comments. Are you still here, Janet? I was trying to find you in the chat, in the participant list.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yes, you're still here. Yes, Janet, just for your final comments before we wrap up the afternoon.
Yes, I just want to encourage all my colleagues, be strong in this time. Think about our students. Think about the future of our country and our nation. And if we are thinking about our future, then we will fight the good fight. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
Okay, great, excellent. You have a fan. Janet, I met you only a few days ago, but I tell you, you have a fan. You'll be seeing my name in your inbox and my name on your phone screen, because I absolutely want to make sure that I stay in touch with you and use you as a resource person as we see how we can make the practical subjects sexy. Forgive me for saying it like that, guys, but a big part of what we have to change in Jamaica is how we present the practical subjects. And that's a part of the push that JTC will be making over the rest of this calendar year. We'll be working with the Tech-Voc unit. You met them this morning to promote the practical subject as a viable and attractive area of employment and engagement for our young people. It's not just something you do because you can't do anything else, or you're pangang under one tree from an old car and call yourself mechanic. This is a skilled area with significant level of training. So Janet, thank you for bringing our day to what I think was a very strong finish, and to all the presenters this afternoon who would have helped to make sure that this afternoon was such a very good engagement for our teachers. I want to thank you. Gina Mullings and Rosemary Daly Roberts from, I'm sure it's not Roberts, forgive me, it's late, but Rosemary and Gina from St. Catherine High School. Special thanks for starting out in the way that you did and just sharing so openly. And let me just encourage that friendship that you have to keep going. Michelle from Woolmer's Boys, who is so passionate about art and who has been able to inspire students to continue engaging with art even during a pandemic. And of course, to get the business community to support her so that she can send packages home with the students. I want to commend you as well. And of course, Janet, who until I saw her with a hoe and a cutlass and a fork, I did not believe she could be a farmer, but who has so inspired her students, so that they have continued to engage with her and with the subject despite difficult circumstance. I also want to thank you. Teachers all, I'm bringing the session to an end. I'm going to stay online for those who still wish to ask any question regarding the form that you're trying to get into, those kinds of questions. But for all sense and purposes, you can consider this the end of today's session. I want to thank you for supporting us, and we look forward to engaging with you again as we work to support you. So feel free to exit the room as we just make way very quickly to take a few questions from those persons who may want to ask about the registration and not registration of teachers, but the certificate and the form that you're trying to fill out and so on. And as I say goodbye again, I just want to thank Mr. Donald and all the principals and all the members of the administrative teams from the different schools who would have been able to join us this afternoon and who would have shared the time with us. Thank you for being here. All right, so again, just encouraging you to log off unless you have questions or any kind of problem that you're having with the form. I have posted the form for this session. I'm going to post it again. Where is that now? And I'm also going to head over to YouTube and post it there again, but I've been posting it for a little while now. So let me head over to YouTube and post it there. There you are. So I've posted the form. So please, I don't think I'm going to post it again because you just need to scroll up if you don't see it and find it in the chat. All right. So let me see. There are quite a few hands up. And I don't know if I want to take all of them because, as I said, there's another activity going on I wish to be a part of. But let me try to see how many of these hands I can take. Let me lower all the hands actually, because I have a feeling some of these hands were up from before. So is there anything that I can help anybody at all with respect to accessing the form for the 3 sessions for today? Let me start with E. Johnson. Johnson, go ahead.
Oh yes, good afternoon, sir. Actually,
greetings.
It's not anything to do with the registration. It's the form. Actually, I wanted to find out if the numbers for the JTC persons to contact regard to registration. Will those contact numbers be posted?
The numbers, those are the cell phone numbers, huh?
Any contact, whatever, so I can contact them with regards to registration.
Right, sure, no problem. Well, the contact numbers are on our Facebook page, I mean our Instagram page, and Facebook too, I suppose.
Okay, I'll search there.
I'm just going to jump over there and find that page. Let me share that page right away. And teachers, I really encourage everybody to follow us on YouTube. Like us on YouTube, follow us on social media, because a lot of this is there. So you should be seeing this page. I hope you're seeing the Instagram page for JTC.
I'm looking right now. I'm trying to add it to my.
Meaning I'm sharing my screen. So well, you can also follow us. Just go and find us and follow us.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Great, great, excellent. And the phone numbers for the registration officers are listed there, and I'm sharing a screen now, and I'm sharing the numbers on the screen as well. So you follow us on on Instagram, and I know we also have this on Facebook, except I don't use Facebook that much. If you go to Instagram and search for jamaica.teaching.council, you will find our page and you'll be able to interact with us there. All right,
Thanks
let
much.
me, sure, no problem at all. Let me go back to my Zoom meeting. Where's my Zoom? Here we go. No, sorry, I'm just trying to, oh, sorry, I'm sharing screen, that's why I can't find it. All right, so let me see who else might have a question. Where are we now? That was E. Johnson. Sorry, guys, my computer is taking forever to respond. Nicole, Sams are trying to get you to put your, to unmute. Go ahead now and unmute, Nicole. Nicole Sams? Did I do that right? Yes? Nicole? All right, waiting on, let me try. Oh, yes, Nicole, go ahead.
Never mind, sir, I got it.
Okay, great, great, excellent, excellent. Galaxy Tab A. Galaxy Tab A.
Hello, sir. Yes.
Hi.
Yes, I was just trying to find out concerning our email. Are we supposed to use our MOE emails or just any personal email?
No, whichever one we can get you on.
All right. Okay.
Right?
Thank you very much. Okay.
Sure, no problem. Judith Goldburn Aaron. Judith?
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to
Yes.
unmute.
Yeah, man, we're hearing you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? You hear
Yes,
me?
we're
Okay,
hearing you.
fine. Good afternoon, all. And I
Hi.
must say thanks very much for this PD day.
Right, you're welcome.
Right. No, I'm one of those teachers with very special circumstances. And I have shared with you my personal email that I can be interviewed. It is it's a very personal experience. And I do believe that our JTC needs to pay attention to cases like mine. All right.
Okay.
I am resilient enough. I'm resilient enough. Right now, I had to take notes very swiftly. I need you to just verify for me the what you call it? No, the links for the forms.
Right.
The one that ends with 9X. Which
To be
session is
frank
it
with you,
for?
know,
Is it for?
I have not been keeping track of which link is for which form. I never, and that's my mistake. I now realize that let me see if I can just go ahead and tell you. If you stay with me for a minute, I will let you know.
I sure will. Sure will.
But even so, I only have 2 links here, and I should have more than 2.
Your 2 links. Oh, I got the one for this morning.
Okay.
Already.
So this one now, I'm going to copy a link and put in the chat. No, this link is for the e-portfolio. No, this link is for the one from, sorry, this link is for the one from this morning. The one I'm going to put in the chat now is for the one from this morning, the 10 o'clock session. So if anybody is in this meeting and you want this link, I'm going to put that link in the chat. Forgive me, teachers, it's a little difficult to navigate because I'm having a... Okay, so this link that I've put in the chat is for the 10 o'clock session this morning.
Right.
I see Marshall Lee is putting some links in the chat. The OORMGV is this morning.
Yes.
Okay. This link that I'm about to put in the chat now is for this session.
Yes.
But the but the 1 o'clock session, I need to go and find that link. I don't know where I put it. So this link now is for the session that we're in now, the one that I just shared. There is another link I need to find. If you give me a second, I'll go and find it. I might have to just go back and recreate the link because I'm not seeing it. So just allow me to go and recreate that link.
Thank you.
and put it in the chat. It's going to take a second, and it's a little longer than a second because the computer is just not moving as quickly as it should. So I'm going to go and recreate a link for the 1 o'clock session, the e-portfolio session.
Okay.
And I'm hoping you're grabbing them from the chat as I put them in, because I'm not going to remember which is
Sure.
which. I'm just
Yes, I'm
putting them in the
taking
chat. Mhm.
Yes.
So far I have put the link for the 10. That was the first link. I've put the link for
First
the
link.
5 for the 3 o'clock, and I'm now about to
The
put. I'm
extra
creating the link now for the 1 o'clock session, and I'm putting it in the chat. And I know it's not just you who need this, so I'm making an effort to make
No,
sure.
I
Right,
know.
right.
We
I
have become
really
a sharing
hope.
society. As professionals, we've become a very sharing society now, and it's very
As it
good.
really should be. Here you go. Or
Yes,
yes, indeed,
this
that is
is really,
excellent.
really
So
good.
this now is the
Really,
link.
yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, Miss Miller Johnson has put a link in the room for the e-portfolio session actually.
Good. Good.
Yes,
Good.
and yes, indeed, all the links were projected in the meeting, and they're also. So they're on the video. So if you go to YouTube, they're on the video. And we have been posting these links in the YouTube chat as well. So those are all the links that you need. They are there. They will close tonight at midnight. If I'm awake to close it at midnight. Mhm.
Oh, well, you know, remember, we said what the last sessions that we had on Tuesday said that we should have a personal space, basically. So we need
Pretty
it.
much. Indeed.
All
Indeed.
right. It was great.
All right.
And thanks for facilitating. Bye-bye all.
Okay. Yes, yes. Take care. Is there anything else I can help anybody with respect to this session? Let me see whose hand is still up. Marsha Brooks. Marsha.
Good evening. You
Hi,
said for this
greetings.
session, but I really had a problem with the first one. I filled out the form and everything, but I
Sure.
did not put the correct name. I only put rest of conversation 1. I didn't put
No,
the
that's fine. No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't
Okay,
worry
no
about it.
problem. That's just my concern. Thanks so much.
Come on. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Ariel Henry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, greetings.
You had stated, or rather you sent a link regarding the teacher leader to become a teacher leader, but you also mentioned that you would send a document that outlines what it entails.
I did. Or did I?
Yes.
Let me.
You
I
didn't
did,
send
right?
the document. You didn't send the document. I would love to access that document, please, before I
All right.
sign.
I'm going to head right to my computer now. Just give me a second. Let me just find that file on my computer itself. Yes, so I'm looking for it. So while I'm looking, I'm just going to allow somebody else to ask a question before I, while I'm looking. So thank you, Ariel. Jacqueline Scott.
Bye-bye.
Jacqueline, you there? Wait. Oh, that's the problem. Jacqueline Scott. Jacqueline.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Good evening again.
Yes, hi.
Yes, I was filling out the form and it was asking for a registration number. And I guess the Zoom, something about the Zoom, the access, is it the access that you use to come in, you type back everything? The link.
I'm not so sure I know what you're asking.
No, it's asking, a section there is asking for the Zoom name and the screen, but I haven't seen anything there. So I guess is the link that we use to get into this.
Norman, what is your name in Zoom? What is your name in Zoom?
Oh,
what is your name right now on your screen in Zoom?
Oh,
What is your
Jacqueline
screen?
Scott. Okay.
That is your name. That is your Zoom name.
Right.
But it's not
And
always the case that your name is your, because for example, I see a Galaxy Tab A.
Oh.
I don't know who that is, but that is that person's Zoom screen name.
Okay, sir. And for the registration number, I do register already, but I don't remember the number. So what do I put there? NA?
Well, put I don't remember the number.
Oh,
no, don't
thank
put
you,
I don't
Jen.
remember the number. Don't put I don't remember the number. Well, I guess if you don't remember, you don't remember. If you put your TR in, we can find it for you.
Yes, I have my TRN in there.
If you put that, we can use that to find your number.
All right. Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Good, good.
Sure, no problem. Let me just quickly find that document to upload. I'm putting it in the chat. Just give me a second. It's so hard to use Zoom to share files. God. Sorry guys, I just need to find the file on my computer and put it in the chat. But as simple as that might sound, Zoom really doesn't make it easy. All right, let me try a different way because that is not working. Oh, modules, so search for M. Sorry, just give me a second, guys. And while I'm doing this, I can't do anything else in Zoom. Desktop, go to M. Okay, here we go. So I have added, it's being sent now. I've added a file in the chat that has information about the lead teacher program. All right, Marsha Lee Cameron has put all the link for all the sessions in the chat, so you can use that as a resource. Lisa Blake. Right, so the file is in the chat, you can download. Lisa Blake, Lisa Blake, there you go.
Okay, Mr. Leslie, good evening.
Hi.
Okay, well, I'm presently was filling out the form, but what I really want to ask, last year summer, I did the JTC courses, and up until now, I haven't received any certificate.
That means you're not a registered teacher with the Teaching Council. All teachers who are registered with the Teaching Council have gotten their certificate. And I can say that with about 95% confidence, because I do know that one or two teachers might have slipped us because the name you're registered with is not the name you're using now and so on. But as long as you're a registered teacher, we have gone through to make sure you have gotten your certificate. This is something we have tried so many times to explain to the system. We have called so many meetings, written so many emails, sent out so many bulletins about this issue, but I still find that a number of teachers are unaware that they need to go and get registered.
I did it online, Mr. Leslie. I don't know what happened.
And you are now registered. You have a registration number.
Well, I haven't the number.
Okay. Well, so there's still something outstanding why you don't have a registration number. So you need to follow up with one of your registration officers, with the registration officer for your region. Right?
Okay.
All right,
So
no problem.
I do that, I will get the certificates. All right.
Yeah, man,
thank you.
absolutely. Absolutely. We have quite a few certificates to issue, but the persons to whom we need to issue them are not registered. Precious Aaron, and guys, I have, oh Lord, time is up actually. Precious Aaron. Precious?
I am muted. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. I was at the second conversation and also this one, but I had internet issues, so I wasn't hearing everything. Am I qualified to get a certificate?
Well, go and answer the questions. If you can answer the questions, I'm sure.
Oh, I tried one and got 3 out of 6.
Oh well, look at that. Look at that. That sounds like you get a lower second class degree there, so, yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah, but sure. And remember too that the videos are on our YouTube page. You can go there, and what you're not sure about, you can look on. The videos are already on our YouTube page. All right. I can't take more than 2 more questions. I'm going to try to just get through the next 2. Miss S. Henry. Miss Henry, you're unmuted. No, you're muted. Go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon again. I must say thank you for the presentations. They were quite impactful. Although I am requesting that you do a lot more for the lower school, for the primary level, for the babies, you know, like to get our hands dirty. Yes.
Tell me what you mean. Tell me what you mean. I'm interested to hear more about that because we want to know how else we can do it, you know?
I
So
had
tell
made
me.
mention of it in my
Oh, when you
what I
filled
meant
out the
is that
registration, when you filled out the
what I
form.
meant like what I meant is that just as how you had Miss Janet, you know, demonstrating, you know, that some babies they need more of a parental guidance. So if you
Right.
have more presentation, not just as what you have for the high school, I would like to see that also for the primary level as well. More of that as to how we can integrate that to have them, you know.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
integrating
What
that.
grade do you teach, Miss Henry?
I teach grade 2.
Grade 2. Okay. All right. No problem. I thank you for that comment. You know, there are so many stakeholders to serve, and sometimes I know we don't serve all of them equally. But yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Mhm. So thank you. Was there another comment you wanted to make, or that was it?
Yes, sir. I earlier on you made mention, I was hearing about the mentorship program that was there, and I was told that there was an application or a link that would be sent in the box because I'm interested in that area.
Right. We have sent a link. We did send a link. Where that link is now, I don't know, to be honest. And yeah, you know, you're asking me again to go find a link. I might have to recreate a link. But we did send a link for teachers who wish to register. This is for the lead teacher program. I don't know if that is the one you were speaking about. But I did share a link for that. I'm just going to put an ugly link in the chat. The link is going to be very ugly, but I can't help it at this point.
Okay.
If you click on this link, I'm just going to just click on it because you won't be able to write this out. Just give me a second. Let me just generate the link. And as I said, this link is going to be very ugly. But if you click on it, it will take you to a form that you can use to tell me that you want to join that activity. So I've put the link in the chat. Like I said, it's not the prettiest of link, but if you click on it, it will take you to the form. And yes, so Paulette Frank, that is the same link that I just sent. Let me see if I can very quickly tidy up that link.
My phone.
Let me see if I can quickly tidy up that link so that it's not as unattractive as it looks now. Yes, I have. Here we go. So this is the link for the lead teacher. I just placed it in the chat and I did it again. All right, guys, I really do have to run though. It's as long as the day has been for you, it's been longer for me. My first presentation this morning was at 8 o'clock to Nottoway Bay High School. I wonder if anybody's here from Nottoway Bay High School. And it's been going like that nonstop all day. So I'm going to take one more hand, and then we will definitely have to get out of here. Let me go to Yasmin Gordon. I'm sorry, it has to be. I did share the file for the lead teacher. It is in the, I put it in the chat, it's there. It's gonna take me way too much time to find it and share it again. It's in the chat. If you scroll up, you will find it. Yes, is it, no, it's not Lisa. Who is this now? Yasmin. Yes, Yasmin,
sir.
go ahead.
Good evening, sir. I'm trying to fill out the form for this last session, but when I reach to the part where the questions are, it's not clicking. I'm wondering what is happening.
It's possible that there's something that you have to click. There's an option that you haven't clicked. So here's where the questions are, it's not clicking.
Yes.
So with the way the form is set up, you must answer all the questions before you can move on.
Okay, I'll go back and see if there's anything.
So you have to answer all the questions, and there, if it's a table, like a yes/no table, if it's no, you have to put no. You can't just leave it out. So you have to give a response in each row.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Again, I just resent. So please don't send me a direct message right now, guys. I'm trying to send a message to everyone in the meeting. So please don't send me a direct message, because if you do, the document I'm about to send will be sent to you alone. Okay, so I've just for the third time sent this document. You have to let me know if you are seeing it. Yes, if you're unemployed, you can still get a certificate. Okay. All right, guys. It's been a great day. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Get some rest. And over the next few days, as you relax from the holiday, remember the likes of me who still have to come to work every day. But in all seriousness, do enjoy the break that you are getting, that you have, and do get some rest and relax a little and find things that you enjoy to do and do those things. Have a great rest of the afternoon. I'm sorry I can't take any more questions, but I really do have to run, as I have so many other pressing matters that I definitely have to get. I have to go and take care of. You have a great afternoon.